Hi, this is Delbert McClinton, and you're listening to member-supported community radio, WMNF Tampa.
The opinions presented on the Healthy Steps show are the evidence-based opinions of Dr. Fred Harvey, the callers, and his guests. These are not the opinions of the staff, the volunteers, or the board of WMNF. The information provided on the show is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. There is no implied patient-physician relationship in these calls. The nature of the calls is educational and informational only.
Hello there, my dear listener. It is almost an otherworldly experience to be with you in the consecrated sanctuary of the studio on this magnificent Monday morning. If words were gold to give to you, I could not stop thanking you, my friend, for keeping your dial tuned to WMNF Tampa, your resistance radio station from Tampa Bay to the Gulf of Mexico, and the only community-supported radio station that Freeman Lowell would ever stream aboard the Valley Forge. And you can stream us as well at WMNF.org. Today is Ask Me Anything Monday. Do you have any medical questions or concerns? And I know that you do, so you are graciously invited to participate by calling 813-239-9663. Please, let me repeat that number to call once again. It is 813-239-9663. You can also send an email to dj@wmnf.org or text us at 813-433-0885. Good morning to you, Dr. Fred. It is always good to settle in for another exciting AMA Monday. Let's get started. What have you got in the medical cookie jar for us today?
Good morning, Bill, and all you Healthy Step listeners out there. It's another wonderful Monday.
Absolutely. A little bit of rain here and there, but we can certainly use that.
We certainly can. How many inches behind? I think we were like 20 inches behind earlier. I hope we got 5 or 6.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
But, yeah, there's so much going on. Amy Goodman always has some good stories, and so does National Public Radio. That news always enlightens me. And I just want to go back a little bit in time here and reminisce about something called the Mueller report. I know it's not directly healthcare, but it has bearing here. So I know that Trump took a victory lap when the mobster couldn't be connected directly to Russia, so there's no, open quotes, collusion. But if you read the Mueller report like I did, and many people did, you understand that Russia actually interfered with the 2016 election, but also the 2020 election and the 2024 election. So I wanted to say that because I know that Russia is very, very proud of its work. Because in the way global politics works, you know, there's a couple of major players who have so much oil, money, or weapons that they become global players. Russia's one of them. And Russia's goal, because Russia's been sanctioned by American dollars so often, American banks control oil trade, they've had to create a back door that goes through China. The little secret thing where they can still sell oil. But the bottom line is Russia's goal is to take down America and also to take America away from being the control of global finances by being the currency through which oil is traded. Long story, but anyway, Russia's very proud because Russia put in power here someone who's destroying America. We know that. We watch that. And the reason I prefaced all this is because I wanted to talk about the Maha-Trots. Yeah, I said that. The Maha-Trots are this expansive diarrhea outbreak caused by an organism, Cyclospora. And the reason I call it the Maha-Trots is because for the last several, well, actually, the 2016 was not as bad as now, but for the last year and a half, our healthcare system, if you want to call it a system, how about our health, our federal health agencies, FDA, CDC, and Health and Human Services have all been undermined by this administration. The Maha Trots is now up to 7,000 cases, 100 so far hospitalized. And a couple of days ago, on the 17th, the CDC declared that Taylor Foods lettuce was a problem. Then a day later, they retracted that, said it was a false positive. This is an issue. I don't recall ever having federal agencies tell us that a food was contaminated and then recall that contamination notice because they made a mistake. This is all because of Maha and Doge and the Trump administration. Taylor Farms was implicated, and then it was cleared 3 days later or 2 days later. Can you imagine this? The reason is staffing cuts. Doge and Maha and the Trump administration, there were over 20,000 people that left the U.S. Department of Agriculture. That's just USDA. The losses at the FDA and the CDC are also huge. We've lost databases because the employees that used to keep the databases going are gone. So the databases now have gaps. There's been a huge knowledge drain because why would you stay at a place where you can't talk about the truthful knowledge that you actually have? There have been surveillance cuts in the traceback where they actually look back to see where this bad bug came from. They lost over 900 employees in that federal department. Oh, and yeah, I hear it all the time. Push it back to the states. The states have rights. The states have agencies. The problem is Maha, RFK, dissolved the USDA National Advisory Committee on Microbial Criterion for Foods. That means that the committee that was going to tell us how to deal with food outbreaks was disbanded. And guess what? It was just creating new guidelines for foodborne outbreaks when it was disbanded. So we lost the federal group that helps guide the response to foodborne illness outbreaks, purposefully destroyed by this administration. And you know, they tell us they're doing all these wonderful things. It's so much better. We're going to heal this agency because now we have fast-tracked drug approvals, for ones that don't work. They looked at cancer drugs a year or two ago and found that most of the ones that these fast tracks released didn't work and caused harm. Oh, go back to the outbreak, though. Why? Industrial farming. What happens on industrial farms, in these places where there's not a lot of water? The owners, to save money, deny toilets and hand washing facilities for the employees. And some outbreaks, I think 2 years ago, raspberry and spinach workers were found to be pooping in a hole dug beside the field. Seriously. Can imagine where the contamination comes from, huh? It's just really crazy. But last year, RFK cut his committees cut 6 of 8 pathogens, including cyclospora, from the food net monitoring system so that we could actually see when the food is contaminated. Thus, it's the Maha Trots gang. Our government is causing this problem. And so we have a real problem because the states don't have the coordinated infrastructure that the federal government does. The USDA, the FDA, the CDC, they have the infrastructure. Those have been just decimated by stupidity. And now, because Musk gutted USAID with his dumb Doge campaign, we have the festering screwworm eating away at our beef stock. And we have a festering measles outbreak that's not been able to be put down because RFK gutted the CDC. This is not making America healthy. It was healthier before they tried to make it healthy again. It's really a sad situation when our government officials just lie directly to us and talk about the exact opposite of what they say they're doing and then do these horribly damaging things. I'm tired of it. I hope you are too. But I'm willing to talk about it rationally, reasonably, without name calling and arguing about it. This is just real. These people are destroying something that was good. How can we stop them? This is the Healthy Steps Show. I'm Dr. Fred Harvey.
And that's a very good question there, Doctor. How can we stop them? I've got some people in the queue that want to discuss their thoughts. I've got Kelsey, Norm, and Ann, but I'm also satisfied with only when we get you to give us a call to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Just give us a call at 813-239-9663. Again, that number is 813-239-9663. Or you can send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Let's go to Kelsey. Good morning to you, Kelsey.
Hi, good morning. My
Hi there.
question isn't totally related to the topic that's being discussed. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah. So what I've been doing a lot of research on recently, and I'd love to hear your opinion, is alternative treatments for depression. One being ketamine, what is called ketamine-assisted therapy. It's not covered by the FDA currently, but I've just read lots of great studies of how effective it is as a, solid treatment of depression. I wanted to ask your thoughts and, see if you had more insight as to why it's not FDA approved at this point.
Well, that's a broad question, actually several. Let's just back up to depression. Depression is a description of symptoms. The Diagnostic Statistical Manual number 5 describes a bunch of symptoms that would be then classified as depression. The problem with that approach is that it's not biologic. It's just making stuff up about your mood. The mood is related to all kinds of things: hormones, neurotransmitters, cytokines, which are the inflammatory molecules in the immune system, your omega-3 fatty acid, nature, the balance in your body of your omega-3s to the rest of the system, the presence of adequate folic acid and B12. So I think that anybody who has depressed mood deserves a broad workup for metabolic reasons for depressed mood. Mm-hmm. And so I don't look for treatments for depression because I have yet to find a psychiatrist that can define depression on biologic terms. And so these treatments that help change mood are mood-altering treatments, but I wouldn't call them antidepressants or treatments for depression. They are mood manipulators. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So there is an FDA-approved version of ketamine. It's called S-ketamine, E-S-K-E-T-A-M-I-N-E, S-ketamine, and it's got a brand name, Spravato, and it is actually working alongside of other antidepressants to help people to get more rapid improvement. It's not approved as a solo therapy at this point.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
what you think? Sorry, continue.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's another research that I've read about is what you said, just a balance of diet in your food is also an alternative treatment that a lot of people are turning to that are found is very effective. Basically treating the gut and making sure you have a healthy balance of, everything in your gut to improve depression as well.
Yes, I like to back it out a whole level there and just say we're taking care of a human. Mm-hmm. Rather than treating an illness, back it out a step from that narrow-minded Western medicine focus of labeling an illness and treating an illness. You have a bad mood. Why do you have a bad mood? We don't know. We should explore it. Did something happen to challenge your life? Are you having a nutritional deficiency or excess? Are you having a metabolic disturbance in hormones, neurotransmitters, or cytokines? Do you have a chronic inflammatory problem? These things all need to be looked at, but a psychiatrist is not going to do that. They never do tests. They never do brainwave studies. They never do anything but give you pills and say, do you feel better? Puppy uppers and doggy downers are the methodology of modern psychiatry.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend you see a good doctor, even a general good doctor that's not functional medicine, could actually do a bunch of these tests. Quest Labs has thyroid tests, hormone tests, omega-3 fatty acid tests, B12 folate, methylmalonic acid. I mean, you can look at all kinds of good stuff that can tell us whether you're actually replete in the things you need to make your brain function well, or in excess of things. Even insulin resistance, pre-diabetes can cause bad mood.
Mm-hmm.
So you need a big workup if you have bad mood, rather than trying to find a random treatment for a disease that's poorly defined by Western medicine.
Yeah, this is great insight. I appreciate the opinion from a broader lens. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I hope you find some good help out there. And you can go to ifm.org and search for a functional medicine doctor in your area.
Okay, I will do that.
Wonderful. Good luck, and get back with us if you find some results. I like to hear those good stories.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Indeed. Best wishes to you there, Kelsey, and thank you for calling in, and we hope to hear from you again soon. Again, got a full board here. I've got Norm, and Gary, and Kay. Let's go to Norm in Tampa. Good morning, Norm.
Hey, Dr. Harvey, right? Yeah.
Yes, Norm, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine. First of all, I really like the way you explain it about depression and that full workup thing, because what you say is so true. I mean, it's right. It's on point. With
thank you.
And me, I just throw you my little credentials. Mine is not as impressive as yours. I'm a poor old struggling pharmacist and dentist trying to make it through life, and I write about these sort of things. So I'm very impressed. But getting back to healthcare, where you're talking about, America gets exactly what it deserves when we look at this, what's happening with this foolishness, where we've eliminated research. We've got people in charge that have that eliminated certain components of our public health programs that would prevent these communicable diseases and these unnecessary pathogens that we had we basically had understanding and under control. And not only that, because you sound like a revolutionary, what do they call it, which is good. I know they're going to say you're a DEI, you can shout that the loudest and all that crap and stuff. But we've eliminated our ability to even do the research on these products, the research entities within our universities, our schools, and our and certain fundings where we look for certain patterns of disease behavior throughout. Yeah,
one of the worst things I see, Norm, is that this administration has decided to make funding for science political. They're not going to fund things that they don't agree with. It's so bizarre.
It's like going back to the very dark ages beyond
monarchy. Monarchy. The dark ages of Stalin's world or monarchy. We don't need kings here, do we?
Well, wait a minute. Stalin was better than that. At least Stalin believed in science and math. I mean, these guys...
Well, he maybe believed in science and math for making weapons of mass destruction, but I don't think he believed in it much of anything else, because their entire economy collapsed because they didn't invest in humans.
Right. And this is exactly... But America knew this. People knew, and they voted for these people anyways, because all they did was shout DEI the loudest and all that.
Well, yes, and people can be manipulated by stupidity and by emotional things. But the bottom line is here, healthcare has been devastated. And do you have a point to make about the healthcare problem we have today?
Well, the point I'm making is that you need to keep you need to keep right on speaking. Keep on speaking, telling people the truth, because they won't believe guys like me. But they will certainly, when you speak out on using this platform as a forum perhaps somebody will be out there listening, particularly some of these political idiots that we put into offices that are in a state of denial. They need to hear this kind of language, whether it's publicly funded or not. And you cannot be silent, because the truth will not be silenced. And doctor, you keep right on speaking as loud as you can be. That's my
thank you, Norm,
for today. And
I plan to.
So much for raising sand for raising sand today. Keep on talking.
I don't like to put up with nonsense, Norm, and I see lots of nonsense around me.
Exactly. And we've eliminated our ability not only to get this, but eliminated from even the public form, the books that go into teaching our kids, and the classes, our elementary school classes that we've eliminated
all over the place. We need to start with good. Norm, we need to start with good health education in elementary school, and a place to start is changing the food in schools. So, hey, have a great week, sir.
Thank you so much. Keep right on speaking.
I will.
Thank you very much there, Norm. And I do have Ann, Gary, and Kay in the queue, but I want to invite you to participate in the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. If you have any medical questions or concerns, please give us a call at 813-239-9663. Again, that number is 813-239-9663. Or you can continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. And it looks like we've filled up the full board here. Let's go to Ann. Good morning, Ann.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Harvey. I don't know if you and I are going to have similar opinions on psychiatric medicine. I do believe that medications absolutely are effective. As somebody
they are. They definitely are, but they're not meant for long-term use.
Well, and that is my concern with MAHA's focus now on de-prescribing medications for individuals who have high ACEs scores, who have been wired ineffectively, who have tried talk therapy, and I'm speaking, of course, of myself, talk therapy for years and years. And
but talk therapy doesn't necessarily work in this situation.
Behavioral therapy, right. Mm-hmm. What I am saying is that after resisting all attempts at any kind of medication, finally I did try medication, and it made the world of difference. And I tried not being on the medication, and the change is profound. My family notices it.
Yes.
It's something that I've tried.
So when you tried...
Part of me wants to believe that, you know what, I can do this without medical intervention, but it's not...
But did you have any healthcare intervention when you were trying to do this?
Yes, and I've had all sorts of thyroid panels, and my primary care doctor, we have run all sorts of tests. And I do appreciate the functional medicine approach, and we do have a functional medicine group here that I've actually been in contact with, and I'm looking at it. And so
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You say you've tried talk therapy, behavioral therapy, and medication therapy, but have you ever actually tried to look at healthcare, like actually look at those things I was just talking about, nutritional deficits or excesses, absent B vitamins or absent omega-3 fatty acids, inflammatory problems?
The labs are great, and I'm not saying that every test has been run, but
so you've had a functional workup where you've looked at the omega-3 levels and things like that.
I don't know about that specifically. I know that I've had all sorts with menopause, with that change of life. We looked at a lot of things because there were issues, and we wanted to rule out, was there a thyroid problem? What else might be going on?
So you looked at the standard endpoint disease labs of a Western medical practitioner. You didn't get a metabolic workup, which is where I would go if you want to get off the medication, because it sounds like you don't want to use it forever, maybe you have a deficit of serotonin. And if you're on an SSRI, it's highly likely that you do have a deficit of serotonin.
I do. Right.
Oh, somebody measured that for you?
Well, I'm on medication. This is a second medication that I'm on that addresses that. And
no, it doesn't actually. No, there are actually no medications that address serotonin deficiency. If you're on a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, you have a medication that makes serotonin deficient in your body over time. It artificially pumps up the level of serotonin in your brain for a short while, but it does not raise your serotonin levels. And so maybe somebody should look into that. Psychiatrists don't.
All right. I'll bring that up to my psychiatrist the next time I see her.
Yeah, ask him about the doctor's data neurotransmitter test.
The what?
Doctors Data Incorporated does a test of your neurotransmitters. I use it on a regular basis to detect serotonin deficiency that I can actually help people fix with supplementation so that they then have enough serotonin that they don't need to flog their brain with an SSRI to make it seem like they have enough serotonin to think.
All right. I will bring that up to her the next time. But in terms of what you were started out your show today talking about MAHA, I find it insulting that MAHA once again wants to insert itself between physicians and patients and tell physicians that they should be deprescribing. I heard you mention deprescribing, and I just want to caution, you don't
I think deprescribing is good when you do it appropriately.
And if it is indeed effective, people should not suffer because others think that these medications shouldn't be used long term. I
totally agree with you. If you're hardwired for these medications, you probably need to stay on them, especially if you've been on them for 20 years because your brain's hardwired to need it. But if you are on it briefly, there's a really good chance that you can change your mood and get off of it, because when you look at what the PDR says about the medication, they all say use for 6 months, then evaluate the patient to see if they still need it, but nobody actually evaluates. They never do a serotonin test. They never do a tryptophan test. They never find out if the person is actually whole before they try to take the person off of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your insights. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you very much there, Ann. Let's go to Gary in Clearwater. Hey there, Gary. How are you doing today?
Well, hello. Good morning, you guys.
Hey, Gary.
I want to ask you, first off, we are living in times of so much corruption. What the heck are the history books going to say 100 years from now? My question is, I was making eggs a couple days ago, and when I scrambled eggs, I made there were 3 eggs with 3 yolks. Is it okay to eat yolks with whites? It's my question.
Yes, absolutely. A whole egg is a great food. I think it's one of the perfect foods. There's no problem with you eating egg yolks and egg whites.
Okay, and there's my question. I thought, because a lot of people, why the heck there is the egg whites then with no yolks?
Because there was a whole thing that happened, Gary, in the 70s where fat became the evil thing and cholesterol became even more evil. And so cardiologists were saying, don't eat egg yolks because they have cholesterol. And that's a bit of a fallacy because ingested cholesterol isn't necessarily going to cause most people problems. There's only a small section of the population that absorbs cholesterol so rapidly that eating cholesterol is bad. Most people do fine with eating cholesterol. In fact, 10% of the fat in your brain is cholesterol. And all of your steroid hormones, cortisol, testosterone, progesterone, they're all made from cholesterol. So we need cholesterol. It's a good thing.
Okay, well, thank you. I don't feel guilty now.
Great. Enjoy your eggs, Gary. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thanks again for calling, Gary. Let's go to Kay, and then I've got Nina, Adam, and Barbara. Good morning, Kay.
Good morning. I
Hi
have
there.
a question. My grandchild, she's 10. She's got Maoyu scum, and she's got like bumps, on her. Just wondering, are you familiar with that? Have you heard of it?
I have never heard of it because it didn't sound familiar. Can you spell it?
Sure. It's MOLLUSCUM.
Oh, okay, molluscum contagiosum.
Yes.
Yes, that's a viral skin rash that goes away. Usually, in many children will get it.
What causes that?
A virus.
A virus?
Yes.
Okay. Is it because of lack of vaccine or anything like that, or?
No, it's because she touched somebody who had it and it got into her skin. It's kind of like a wart.
Yeah, it is. And I've been using this cream because it itches. She's
okay.
with it. And I've been using what is it called? It's called Silver Joe. And that seems to, take the itching away. But how long do you think she'll have this? I mean,
well, that's a good question. I have seen it go away in weeks to months, but there is actually, I just found out about it. There's a new topical gel called Zelsuvmi, Zelsuvmi. It's a topical gel, and it looks like it does something for the molluscum contagiosum. It may make it go away. This is the first time I've seen of it. Thanks for bringing it up, because I just did a quick web search, and yeah, there's a treatment. And it looks.
And how do you spell that again? I'm sorry, you talk fast.
Zelsuvmi.
CMI Zelsuvmi.
Zelsuvmi.
Okay, so it's ZELSU.
V as in Victor, MI.
MI. Okay. All right. Okay. Is that by prescription or?
Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's good. That's what I needed to know. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Good. Good luck with that. Hope it gets better quickly, because it is annoying.
It is annoying for her, but at least this gel, is a temporary thing for the itch. All right. Thank you, Dr. Harvey. Have a good week.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you there, Kay. And hot diggity dog, we do have a full board. I've got Nina, Adam, Barbara, and Jennifer. Let's go to Nina in Sarasota. Good morning, Nina.
Hi, Dr. Harvey.
Hello.
I totally agree with you about what you said about the MAHA.
Make America hurt always?
Yes, exactly. That sounds right. Quick question about blood sugar. What's a good A1C number? And if the last couple, it's not mine, but my son's in his 30s, and his glucose keeps going up. Last blood test was 102. The glucose was 109, but his A1C is 5.20. I was wondering what range, that ideal range you should be in.
Well, the hemoglobin A1C is a marker we use to track your average sugar levels. And when the level goes over 5.6%, 5.7 to 6.4 is called prediabetes. You have insulin resistance. Your hemoglobin A1C is going up because your average blood glucose is going up little by little. And if you are under 5.5, you're in a really good range. 5.20 is a really good A1C. And the rising sugar in the morning could be due to a lot of different things. Stress, what is being eaten at night and what time it's being eaten at night, and how much exercise is being done, fish oil levels, all kinds of things.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate that. You had mentioned in one show something about fish oil and also taking vitamin E with it. Confusing me a little bit because I take fish oil, but I don't always do. That's IFAS certified, but I don't always take vitamin E. was something about keeping it from getting oxidized.
Well, so vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat-soluble vitamins. I take a vitamin A, D, E, K combination every day because I believe that my cell membranes always need some extra antioxidant help. In addition, the vitamin E can then help keep the fats in your body all over, including the fish oil, less rancid. So I like the combination of, if you're going to be adding extra oily fish or fish oil to your diet, then I would take a fat-soluble antioxidant too.
Okay, great. Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot for your time.
Have a great day, Nina.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Nina, and may everybody have a great day. Let's go to Adam in Bradenton. Good morning, Adam.
Hey, morning, Doc. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey there. You're welcome.
I'm actually calling on behalf of my girlfriend because she's too embarrassed to call you, or shy, I should say. She's been dealing with something the last 3 or 4 weeks where it feels like her skin's on fire, basically like on her flank, and kind of radiates around to her back. Went on a couple of days. I was thinking maybe you got a kidney stone or something. And then she went to see her primary care. They did a blood test, and they sent her for a CT scan. They said everything looked normal. And it's just, we're going on 4 weeks now where it's like it's not going away. It feels like it's mostly surface, like it's a nerve thing. Like it basically feels like her skin's on fire, but just, right up on the surface. So then we started looking, of course, researching stuff on the internet and seeing all kind of different things. I don't know. I'm not sure what we should do, if she should go see a neurologist or.
Yeah, that's a really good question. How old is she?
40.
And does she take any medications or have any medical problems?
Birth control. No health.
Okay. And no health issues.
Yeah. Online, there's a bunch of stuff like symptoms that there's a thing, internal shingles, which I was not aware of.
Well, shingles usually goes to one side or the other because it runs down nerve bodies. And so if it's on both flanks, it's not likely that. It's really pretty vague what you're describing. I don't have any great ideas. I think this would take a consultation with somebody. You may want to go to a neurologist, maybe just a different primary care, present the story again. And I don't know what blood they did that was normal.
It's concentrated just on the right side, and it seems very surface unless she sits for work. So if she sits in the same spot, it'll kind of go deeper. But for the most part, it's like right on the surface and just.
Well, if it is only on the right side, that could be a sign of shingles, and sometimes you don't get a rash with shingles. So the primary care could check out some herpes virus antibody titers, and if they're really high, it could indicate you have an acute shingles going on.
Is that a specific blood test, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What was the name of it?
Shingles antibodies.
Okay. Any other? I don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of one of these mystery things in our primary care.
Yeah, that's a mystery thing. That's going to take more time, more talking, more laboratory probably. But it could very well be what you researched. If it's one-sided, that could be shingles.
Yeah, and like lidocaine, she got some lidocaine patches. Those seem to help temporarily. But.
Oh, okay. That sounds like, again, could be a neuropathy. So a neurologist might be appropriate. Even back to the primary, since you're already established, and run by him the possibility that it could be a shingles post-herpetic neuralgia.
Okay. I appreciate your 2 cents, Doc.
You're welcome. Have a great day, and good luck on that. Hope she feels better.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Barbara in Tampa. Good morning, Barbara.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Excellent. How are you today?
Fine. Thank you. I have a question about NAC, and even specifically augmented NAC or intravenous NAC, or also just an injection of it, as opposed to like a combination of the pills with those other forms. And I'm wondering if you recommend that augmented type of NAC as opposed to just a general one. You know what I'm talking about?
No idea whatsoever. Sounds to me like it's marketing hype. Yeah, it's a branded version of standard NAC, supposedly more easily absorbed. I don't believe that. Despite claims for enhanced efficacy, most scientific research is still based on regular NAC, and NAC works really well. So I've never used augmented, more expensive NAC. I just use the regular stuff. I don't inject it because I don't see much reason to inject it, since you actually can absorb it quite well from your belly. And if you're going to do injections, you might as well just bump it up to do glutathione, because glutathione is the real active antioxidant detox molecule, and NAC has to be turned into it. So I don't really think that there's much validity in doing IV NAC.
So is a glutathione worth doing that?
Depends on what your glutathione levels are, what your level of current toxicity and inflammatory stress is. I tend to avoid doing IV treatments these days, because I found that after doing them for 30 years, I get really good results using oral stuff. And I decided to stop trying to compete with the order-it-yourself IV lounges all around the area, where people just dial in their own treatments without any kind of cognitive connection to clinical health reality.
All right. Okay. And is it available by injection? And you're saying the injection is no better than just taking a capsule?
That would be the issue here. I mean, for most of these interventions that you're doing, I really loved doing chelation therapy to help people with vascular problems, because there's evidence that it actually helps turn back the vascular problems. But there's not really much evidence for using most of the stuff that's available at IV lounges. I mean, the hangover cure and all these things, it's just kind of a joke. And our bodies are designed to ingest things. We weren't designed to do intravenous, though when we're really sick, it really helps to get that intravenous. I want some IV blood thinners if I have a clot in my brain. That makes sense. I'm not going to do that with oral nattokinase. It's just not going to happen. And so, when you're acutely ill, it really makes sense to go and do acute medication, IV kind of stuff, hospital, clinic. But if you are dealing with a chronic illness, for the most part, you can get it done orally, because the IVs are for acute illness, and you've got a chronic thing you're dealing with.
And that goes for an injection as opposed to an IV. Is that the same thing? Like, I'm
just saying, anytime you break the skin, anytime, that's invasive. Why bother? Pop it in your mouth. Your gut is designed to absorb it. If you can't take by mouth, get IVs, but most people can take by mouth.
And do you think NAD and NAC in combination are something that you recommend to people?
I recommend all kinds of things to people depending on their needs. And I do recommend NAC to a lot of people, and almost everybody could use NAC because we live in a toxic world. But in 2001, 2002, NAD made its rounds the first time. And a bunch of us functional doctors were using NID then. It disappeared for 25 years. The generation that followed up forgot that we had used it and didn't find any successes back in the early 2000s. And now they're marketing NAD again. IV, PO, any way you want to take it. NAD is the miracle. This generation, it took 25 years to come back, just like bell bottoms.
Oh. Wow.
It's hype, marketing hype. Go talk to your Instagrifter, and he'll make sure you get your pep stack, all those peptides everybody needs to travel with now. It's like, seriously? 26-year-olds doing peptide stacks? It's freaking weird.
Well, thanks, doctor. You saved me a bunch of expense. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Don't go there. Have a good one.
Bye. You too.
Thank you there, Barbara. Let's go to Jennifer in Spring Hills. Good morning, Jennifer.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Jennifer.
The doctor. Hi. What two foods can a person eat to stay 100% healthy? What two foods have everything we need?
What two foods? None?
Yeah.
You need a rainbow?
Pardon me?
You need a rainbow. I mean, there's studies out there that show that your microbiome is happiest if you get 35 plants ingested in a week. 35 different plants.
And I was like, it's kind of just from what you were talking about when we first started the show about how what's going on with Maha and with this, it's like we have two parties, so we need more parties. I actually am going to do a workshop in Chicago at the University of Chicago about proportional representation. So more people we get more voices and more participation. It isn't like one side wins and the other side loses and everybody else loses. Yeah, so right now that's what we really need. And this state...
I agree. We need more parties. We need open primaries. If we have open primaries and more parties, we won't need term limits because we'll have enough people trying to get into the system that it will actually change the system. And so, yes, please get open primaries. That would be the next thing. But closed primaries protect the two creepy political parties that own everything. So, Kay, are you still there? Jennifer.
I'm guessing she's not. I'm going to go to Chris in Gainesville. Good morning, Chris.
Hi, doctor. Thank you so much. I just wanted you to expand a little on your cholesterol control advice and management.
Yes, sir.
And the other thing is something called gallbladder sludge, which I've run across, and I've told from a sonogram that I probably might have that, or it could be worse. So my regular doctor said, go get an MRI. And then I looked into it, and MRIs are not really advised for gallbladder sludge. But I was hoping to get your opinion on both cholesterol management and gallbladder sludge.
Well, they kind of go together. If you want to manage your cholesterol and you want to manage the gallbladder sludge, you want to decrease the amount of saturated fats in your diet and cholesterol in your diet. You can increase your bile flow with things like methionine, the amino acid, choline, and even N-acetylcysteine. So when you augment your diet with some good things that support gallbladder health and you remove things that are against it, I would say pasteurized dairy is one of the worst things you can do to your gallbladder if you have gallbladder problems. And sugar is another really bad thing to do to it, and all those saturated fats. Avoid fried foods completely. Your gallbladder will be so much happier.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Oh, and by the way, get more fiber. Soluble fiber in the diet helps to bind that stuff up and get it out of your body.
Great. Thanks.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you there, Chris. Let's go to Jack in Clearwater. We're down to about the last 7 or 8 minutes. Good morning, Jack. Could I get you to turn your radio off, please?
My radio's off.
Okay, good. How you doing, Jack?
Pretty good.
What do you have for us?
I've heard you now and then. I listen to you. I find it interesting, but I've tried to get through before. I've got parasites in my skin, and the dermatologists, some of them don't know about it, and some of them tell me there's only 3 that they're trained in. And the one lady, she saw that I had them, but didn't know who to send me to. And I was told infectious disease doctors, but you have to be recommended to go to them.
Yeah, I worked for a short while in Miami in the dermatology department at the University of Miami. They have a very special dermatology department because Miami is kind of the unofficial capital of all of Latin America. And people from all over the South America, Central America, they come, and the islands, they come to Miami. And so Miami's dermatology department has a really big tropical illness division, I believe. I hope they still have it. It was a few years ago that I worked there, but they dealt with unusual parasites. And so you may want to look into University of Miami if you're having difficulty locally. The other place to try before you go, if you're here in the area, is either University of Central Florida or University of South Florida. You're in Orlando, right?
I'm in Clearwater, and I did try University of South Florida. You can't. They look just like under a microscope, like flukes or possibly protozoas, but nobody really has much.
So the University of South Florida looked at it, told you what they looked like, and said they don't know what to do with it.
No, they didn't.
Oh.
I couldn't get in. I didn't even know who to see or who to ask for, but I didn't get nowhere. They were going to call me back, and they never did.
Oh, you just need to say, I have a skin problem. I want to go to your dermatology department and let them make an appointment. That's the way most of my clients go to universities.
Have you ever encountered flukes?
Well, I have never seen a fluke in a person. I have studied parasites in people for 30 years, and no pathology lab has ever found a fluke in anybody. I think that they're a fluke.
Yeah, I went to pathology, didn't see them, and they were testing.
That's because they're not there. Flukes don't happen very much in this country. They happen in the third world where there's bad sanitation. I have not seen many active parasites in this country except for Giardia.
Well, I definitely got something, and I don't think it was Giardia. There was a type of protozoa that looked like it, and you can get triclobendazole.
Well, I would definitely make a trip to the University of Miami because they have the best tropical diseases lab in the country that I know of, okay?
Okay, University of Miami. Thanks.
You're welcome. And maybe Jennifer can finish what she wanted to ask.
Hey there, Jennifer. What have you got?
Well, I just was going to real quick. I know I didn't want to take up a lot of time, but I did want to say, yeah, it's good to have open primaries, but not with the top two, because that kills it. Because then it's only the people to get the most votes. And then, so anyway, but there's just a lot of reform we need. And the last thing I'd say is we get money out of elections, because that's been a big problem the whole time. Doesn't matter if it comes from unions or it comes from corporations or if it comes...
No, the money has to come from the federal government or it's not going to work.
Yes, it just needs to come, like it's public funding, just like we have public libraries, like we have public, fires and road repair, or fire departments and road repair.
And that will improve. That will improve public health, Jennifer. That will improve public health across the board.
People will be a lot healthier if they can feel like I'm able to participate. It's worth voting because we only got
they'll be healthier because we'll get better candidates and we'll get better government.
Yeah, exactly. People that aren't in there for for the money or whatever, but they're in there to actually do the job and serve, just like people volunteer for the police force or whatever. They're trying to be protecting and serving. But so that's the whole point. And if we get that, and then that way each party puts forth a candidate, and then they all get on TV in a debate, done. There's no extra money thrown in.
It'll be really nice to have real debates too, but in any event, there's a lot we can do to promote health, Jennifer. Thank you for your call. I'm going to take the last email here and then sign off.
All right.
So actually there's two here. How is Cyclospora different from Giardia? It's not really. They're both small parasites that invade the gut, and they're transmitted fecal to oral. So you have to eat some contaminated something, water, swim in a pond, etc. And so they're both transmitted very similarly. And then let's see. I have one here on. Heidi says, I take 5-HTP, fish oil, B12 for my depression symptoms, and it helps me. That's great. I think that it's really good if you can find some simple, non-invasive, healthy supports for a normal human system so that you don't have symptoms. That's excellent. Good job, Heidi. Thank you for sending that email. And I want to thank everybody today. What an engaged day. This was excellent. I loved your questions, and I really want to thank Bill for running the boards in-house for me, and Joe and Maddie also. Oh, it's Joe there too. Okay, good. So thank you, folks, for holding it together at WMNF. And if you like this show, remember, stop by the tip jar and throw some cash in to keep this amazing community radio station going strong. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you all next week for some more Ask Me Anything.
And thank you, Dr. Harvey, for another informative and rewarding Healthy Steps radio show. And thanks to all of our participants, listeners, and supporters. You make this show exemplary. You have been listening to the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Waiting for you like a dear friend is 5 minutes of NPR headline news, and then get ready for the Sustainable Living Show, hosted today by Annie Ellis. So until next Monday at 10 a.m., thank you for supporting and listening to the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, your community conscious radio station. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and know that you are loved.